Welcome. Welcome. It's Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. And today is day 3 of the 21 days. So that should be interesting. All right, when you come in, make sure you say hello. Today we're going to be working on some gnomes. And I've got all the supplies we need here. So if you're making these, you're going to need one sock for each gnome that you're going to make. You'll need some fun fur. You'll need 2 elastics, depending on whether you're going to stuff the hat or not. If you're going to stuff the hat, then you're going to need another elastic. And you're going to need 2 pieces of twine. I'm going to show you guys how all this fits in as we're going along. You'll also need a pom-pom. I've got a small one and a little bit bigger one here because we're going to make 2. And then you need some blush for the nose. Now, I like using white socks because the blush goes on really well. And something just fell and I have no idea what it was. There we go, I see comments. Hey Marie. So I already cut one sock because I'm going to make quite a small one. So this is the extra from the sock and I don't need this. Unless I decide I want to do white gnomes, then I can use it. Hey Vicky, welcome. And then I have this other sock. So this is going to be for the bigger one. But this has quite a large base on it. So I'm going to cut it shorter than I normally would. I think this, I don't even know where I got these socks. It might have been the dollar store. You can get lots of good stuff there. Okay, so I've got my 2 socks cut. You're also going to need some rice or some lentils or beans, something like that. So let's do the bigger one first. And you use the cup and you just put your sock around the cup. That way when you fill it, it's easier to fill. And I've got my rice here. Had to get hubby to buy more rice yesterday because I'm using our basmati rice. And I was going to make butter chicken. I'm like, you need to get more rice because I'm making gnomes. It takes about, I'm going to say 3 cups, depending on how big you're going to make it. Some of the bigger ones I did, I think I used 5 cups of rice. So it just depends. I'm just going to bounce this so that it goes down. And now I've got enough in here that I can pull the sock out and continue to fill. And then you just want to bounce your sock to get the rice to settle. Now, I am making a smaller one, so you can kind of feel, you want it to be a little bit tight, and you can feel if you've got enough in here. Hey, Jennifer. So I'm going to add just a little bit more, but not too much because I want to have enough to do the bigger one. Georgia, oh my goodness, Jennifer, I was supposed to be going to Savannah this weekend. I am so sad. Our borders are closed still, so I couldn't make the trip down. So sad. Okay, so I've got, there's probably, I'm going to say there's 3 cups of rice in here right now. Like it's really packed in there. Oh, wow, that's so cool. A lot of my other leaders are down there right now, and they've been doing live videos from the hotel, and it's right on the river, I guess. There's some river boats in the background. It just looks amazing. Okay. I'm getting distracted because Savannah is on my bucket list, I have to tell you. It's a place that both hubby and I have wanted to go, so very, very disappointed, but happy for everybody else that's able to go. All right, so now that I have my elastic around here, I'm actually going to put this twine around because the elastic will disintegrate over time. So if you just did the elastic, eventually it would just bust because they get dried and brittled. So by putting a piece of twine around here, I'm going to ensure that this is going to last. So you want to tie it really tight and then tie a knot in it. And then you're going to cut the excess off. So we just want just a little bit of the twine there. Now I can cut this excess part of the sock off. And now we need to build the nose. So it doesn't matter whether you use the underside of the sock or the top part of the sock. This one is a little bit thicker, so I usually use the underside of the sock. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my other elastic ready. And I'm going to pinch. So I'm going to grab some of the rice. I hope you guys can see that. And I'm pinching. Now I'm going to hold it here. Grab my elastic and put it around probably 3 times. So now I have his little nose. Now I'm going to take a second piece of twine and I'm going to wrap it and tie it in a knot underneath the nose. The reason that I do it under the nose is so that it can be covered up by his beard or hair or whatever it's called. And you want to make sure that you leave your twine long enough that you can actually pull it through. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's always better to leave it longer because you can cut the excess off. Let's see if I can get this a little tighter. All right. We will try this again. Come on. Oh, my fingers are not working today, you guys. Let's just do it this way. We're not going to wrap it twice. We're just going to... Now, when you cut the excess twine off, be really careful that you don't cut into the sock. I've done that before, and I've had to take it apart and start over again. I know, Vicky. I know, I'm so sad. So sad. Isn't it funny that Jennifer's from Savannah and she's watching the live? Like that just... so crazy. Okay, so I'm just taking some blush and a blush brush. And I'm putting some color on his nose. So now it looks different. It's not just the white sock. So I'm going to make sure the whole thing is covered. And you can put as much or as little on as you want. Okay. I'm going to plug in my glue gun because we need to glue on the little beard here. So that's going to go on there. Wow. You know what I did? I was wondering. This is the big one. I have the smaller sock here. Okay, so we're going to do the other one. Grab your rice. I was wondering why I had so much sock left over. Give that a little bounce. And then we'll take this out of the cup. Oh yeah, this is definitely the smaller one. So funny. I made one that is, I'm going to say it's probably almost 1.5 feet, and it's so adorable. Okay, so we want this to be shorter than the first one. That looks good. We'll put that aside. And now I'm going to bounce this, get my... Aw, thank you, Vicky. I love being in my new craft space. I am just so blessed. It may have taken a while, but it was so worth the wait. Okay, so I wrap the elastic, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And now I'm going to take the twine and wrap it around and tie it. So just like I did the first one. We need to have a retreat here, Vicky. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be so much fun. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out which side I'm going to do the nose on. And I think we'll do it on that side. And get your elastic ready. Just give it a little bit of a pull. So this is going to be a tiny nose. And then just wrap it. And this one I was able to get it around 3 times. Just a tiny little nose. Isn't that cute? And then we're going to wrap the twine. Give it a good pull. And then tie it in a knot. We'll cut that. And then we need to put some blush on this nose. And I'm going to call this one a her, because she's petite compared to the other one. Hey Sam, how are you doing? How is baby? I bet you've been busy with her. Was it a her? Did you have a boy or a girl? Oh my goodness, I just went completely brain dead. That's terrible. Okay, so we got these ready. So this one is going to get the smaller piece. And when I cut the fun fur, it's always a good idea to cut on the back so that you don't cut the little hairs here. Then you want to cut a little V shape into the top so that that's going to slide underneath the nose and go around it. So we'll just tuck that in there. And then you want your hot glue. If you have a working glue gun. And it looks, looks like it needs another minute to warm up. So we'll just get these ready. Oh, that's right. Why did I forget all of a sudden? My goodness. Okay, so for the top part, you can use a sock or you can use fabric. I didn't have a pink sock and I wanted to keep with my kind of pinkish theme of my Valentines. So I'm using fabric. Now what you want to do is wrap your fabric or your sock. Your sock, you would just pull it down over. So I'm going to make it, I think, about that size. So I'm going to cut that. And I'll just cut it along the side here. And then we're going to glue that together. So just cut off the excess. And always keep your excess fabric because you can Mod Podge or iron the fabric on like I did on the wood cutout. And now I'm just going to straighten that piece. So let's see what we've got here. And you do want to glue your fun fur on before you put your hat on so that you can cover the top of it a little bit. So let's... Okay, that's going to be cute because it's just a tiny little one. And then we're going to put the pom-pom on the side there. So let's get the other one ready. And we'll just measure it. And cut. This one's going to be a little bit taller. So I think we will cut it right here. All the way to the top. And then we want to straighten this out. Again, if you're doing this right on your gnome, just be careful you don't cut into the sock. Because at this point, you're almost done. That would just suck. All right, so we got those. Now, let's see if my glue... Oh, I may have to do surgery on my glue gun. It is so bad. Part of the glue gun, the inside is actually coming out. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to last much longer. It is on its last leg. So I'm gluing along the top and down the side to glue on the hair. We're going to call it hair because girl gnomes don't have beards. So this is their hair. Okay, so we got that on there. And then after, you can kind of fluff up this part here, the mustache. Get it looking super cute. And now we're going to put this on. And we're gonna glue along the side. Holy moly. They're just not cooperating with me today. Okay, so get some glue right at the bottom. Glue your fabric in place. And do that with both sides, and that way you can glue the back seam all the way across. That looks good. And now we'll glue this part. And I might even have too much here. We'll just cut some more of this off. It's always better to leave too much because you can always cut the excess off. You can't replace it if you cut too much. Okay, I think that looks good. It's always, you know, that little bit of tweaking when you're putting it together. Get some glue here. And don't burn your fingers, the glue is hot. Like super hot. It is so much easier if you use a sock, because then you're just basically gluing the sock on top of the head. So let's get just a bead of glue down the edge there. Put that together. And then we're going to glue the pom-pom on. Got glue strings everywhere. Okay, I'm going to tip his hat. Kind of like that. So we'll put a little bit of glue on here. And just hold it for a second to make sure it stays. And now we're going to take the pom-pom and put a bunch of glue on the center there and stick that on. You want to hold it for a second because it's a little bit heavy. If I was using Gorilla Glue, it might be easier. All right, I think that's good. So here we have the bigger one. Now we're going to do the same thing for this small one here. So I'm going to put glue and then glue that to, oops, glue that to the sock. A little bit of excess in here. And I need to pick up my glue gun. A little bit more. And I got a little extra glue on here, so I'm just going to use my multi-tool to move it. And I got to lift this because I forgot to put the fur on. Son of a, yep. Oh, that's hot. That is hot. Not one finger, not two, but four. Okay, press that down. That was silly. Use the multi-tool. And I need a little bit more right there. And then once this is done, we're going to chalk some signs for them to be holding. So they're going to look so super cute. And we need a little bead of glue here. Just along the back seam. Get that off. And now we're going to place the pom-pom on this one. So again, I'm going to fold this. Actually, I'm going to fold it the opposite direction of the other one. Glue that down. And then we're going to put some glue. This pom-pom is a little out of sorts. We'll just cut some of that off. There we go. Get lots of glue in there. And glue that. And then you want to hold it on there. Isn't it cute, Vicky? I just love gnomes. I have a thing with gnomes. Gnomes and trolls. Trolls are huge in Denmark. Okay. Let's get rid of this stuff. And now we're going to chalk on some craft foam. And then we're going to cut it out. So I'm just going to place these little hearts. And these hearts came with, I think it was January's Club Couture last year. And I hate using transfers that aren't available. But this one, it just works so well for this project. So I'm just going to chalk that and we're going to let it dry. And I'm using Mauvelous. You guys know how much I love that. All right, so now we need to let that dry. So I'm going to clean these two transfers quickly. I was going to put ribbon on the gnomes, but I don't think I will. I think the pom-pom is enough. For the girl one, I guess I could do a little tiny bow. So I'm just using a Clorox wipe or Lysol wipe and cleaning the front and the back. And then I'm going to let them air dry. And then once they're dry, I'll just put them back onto the backer sheet. Let's get everything cleaned up. And I just threw something on the floor again. Oh yes, gnarly elves. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, let's use the dryer here and get these dried quickly. Now we're going to cut these hearts out. I probably could have spaced them together more. And then we're going to glue them onto these chenille stems. And then put them on the side of the gnome. So it looks like they're holding these hearts. All right, we're almost done this one. Make sure all the white is cut off. Hey, Judy. Yeah, they're so adorable. Love, love, love them. If I could, I would have gnomes all over the house for every season. But I don't think hubby is that much of a fan of them. He'll tolerate them in small quantities. But that is it. Okay, so we cut out our little hearts here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the back. Place the chenille stick on using my multi-tool. And then we're going to glue it onto the side here. So I think right about there. These are going to be adorable. I like using the chenille because once I get it placed, I can actually bend it so that it's sticking out a little bit. And then you can shape your gnome however you want it, whether you want them to be taller, skinnier, or short and chunky. So let's get this one. And then we'll glue that one on. Press down. That one was a little bit crooked. Now we're going to put some glue on the side of this. And place that. And there we have our cute Valentine's gnomes. Are they not adorable? They're so cute. I'm going to have to hold them up so you can see them better. But aren't they adorable? Little Mr. and Mrs. Gnome. They're all ready for Valentine's Day. They're so cute. One says love me, the other says kiss me. Super adorable. Right, Vicky? Yes, Marie, they are so adorable. All right, my friends. Oh, I forgot to talk about Club Couture and the mystery bundles. I'm going to be doing a mystery bundle sale on Friday in the VIP group. So if you're not already a member of the VIP group, comment VIP down below and I'll get you the link. Club Couture, we've got 2 more weeks to get the specials for Club Couture. You can earn up to 3 transfers and a reclaimed surface being a member of Club Couture, which is pretty awesome. Who doesn't love free stuff? Am I right? All right, so if you want information about Club Couture, I know some of you watching are already members, and thank you. Comment club down below and I'll get you the information about Club Couture and the free stuff that you can earn this month. That is it for today, day 3. Tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow we're going to do the January Club Couture. I did it before and I did it on a t-shirt. Tomorrow we're going to do something different with that transfer. And it will go in the Valentine's theme. And I should be done probably this week with my Valentine's stuff. All right, my friends. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I always come back and check posts later and answer any questions you might have. All right, thanks for joining me. Have an awesome Wednesday night. Bye for now.